Information technology is constantly changing, and as a person in this field always should be up to date. One of the new tech that in these days everybody speaks about it is ChatGPT. Today, I'm gonna show you how to use ChatGPT system generate Terraform code for deploying components in cloud providers. Today, I'm gonna show you how to use ChatGPT system to generate Terraform codes for deploying components in cloud providers like AWS, Azure, OCI, and GCP. Before I start, let's get a little information about this new technology. What is chatbot? A chatbot is a computer program that simulates human conversation through voice commands or text chat or both. For example, you browse one of the phone provider website and wanted to search something. When you open the website, automatically a chat box will open and ask you to put your question there. When you put your question, automatically based on the keywords in your chat, provide you some information. This is one type of chatbot. What is OpenAI? OpenAI is an artificial intelligence research and deployment company. It was founded by Elon Musk and Sam Altman in San Francisco, California. So, what is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is a conversational artificial intelligence chatbot that can answer just about any question you throw at it. As I told you before, this system was launched by OpenAI company in November 2022. As I mentioned, it can answer questions in about any field: science, mathematics, religion, sports, politics, programming, and so on. Let's begin by browsing Google and type ChatGPT login. In the result, as you see here, the first one is chat.openai.com. We click on it and will forward us to ChatGPT website. If this is the first time that we are using ChatGPT system, as the first step, we need to register and create an account. The registration process is quite easy. You need to click on sign up and here simply enter your email address, or you can use your Google or Microsoft account. But here I'm using my personal email. Click I'm not a robot and continue. Here we should select the password and continue. After select your password, you will forward to another page, and here, as you see here, an email sent to your mailbox. By going to the mailbox and open the receive email, you see an item for verify email address. Click on verify email address. It will forward you to a new page and ask you for more details like your name and phone number. Here I enter my phone number and click send code. This is for two-step verification code. After you receive the code, enter the code here and will forward you to the ChatGPT system. Until today that I am recording this video, using ChatGPT system is free and it is in learning stage. And for the future, nothing clear. Here just next, next, and done. This is ChatGPT system. As I mentioned before, it can answer questions in about any field. Science, mathematics, religions, sports, politics, programming, and etc. But as we know, this system is in learning stage and has limited knowledge of words and events after 2021. As you see here, for example, which team was the winner of Qatar World Cup? As you see here, there is no information about 2022 World Cup that was in Qatar because, as they mentioned on the first page, limited knowledge of world and events after 2021, and also may occasionally generate incorrect information. Or as base or subject that is related to programming and Terraform codes, maybe you see some mistakes that we can edit based on our knowledge. Okay, let's start with the first question that I want to ask ChatGPT. So here you can ask any question or you can ask to generate something for you. For example, let's ask this one. Generate a poem for my daughter's Mobina birthday. As you see here, as a matter of second, it generated a poem for me. Also, we can ask ChatGPT to generate this code in another language. For example, tell me that in example Persian. Here you are. It generated the same code in another language. Yes, as I'm familiar with this language, there is some mistake on that and I can edit that by myself. Okay, let's clear the result and back to our subject. Let's start with an example and through a question to ChatGPT. I want to ask ChatGPT to generate a Terraform code for create only a VPC on AWS. Let's send the question. As you see, in a matter of seconds, it started and generated a piece of code for create a VPC on AWS. As you see here, this is a template. So by default, ChatGPT selected US West 2. So based on configuration, we can change it. And also selected this CIDR block, so we can change it based or needed. Let's go to terminal and run this generated code. Let's create a directory. Called ChatGPT. Let's switch on that. Here, create a file called main.tf, and here let's copy and paste this code that was generated by ChatGPT. Let's change the region to, for example, US East 1, and leave it as is, the CIDR block, and save it. Terraform init, install the AWS plugin for communicate with AWS. Done. Let's do Terraform plan. As you see, it will go and create a VPC for me with this CIDR block on AWS. In which region? In US East 1. Let's apply it and see that on the console. Let's go to console. I am on my AWS console. Let's change the region to US East 1, Virginia. Let's check VPC. The first one. As you see, this VPC has been created with that code that was generated by ChatGPT. Let's back to terminal and destroy it. Yes. Okay, let's check on console, refresh. As you see, it's gone. Let's back to ChatGPT and ask another question. Regenerate it for Azure. Really, I don't have more knowledge about Azure, but let's check it with ChatGPT. Quickly regenerate that. That was for AWS. Regenerate it for Azure. Let's test it with Azure. Let's copy the code and use VS Code. Let's make a directory, Azure Chat GPT. Switch to it. Let's use VS Code and create a file main.tf. Let's paste the code here. So provider Azure. Let's change the location to US East and let's leave the others as is. Control S, open terminal, Terraform, init. As you see here, installing Azure plugin on my computer. Terraform plan. As you see here, at least one features block are required in this block in provide. Need this one. Control S and let's continue. Nice. You see, go and create in the US East this one. Okay, let's apply it. Bring my Azure console here. It's going to my Azure console. Let's check it here in virtual network. As you see, the main one has been created with this address space. The main one has been created a few seconds ago. Let's back to terminal again and destroy it. I use auto approve. It's going to destroy. As you see, two modules will be destroyed. One is the virtual network and another one is resource group. Resource group, it's a namespace for the component you select in Azure. Destroy complete. Let's back to Azure console. As you see, the virtual network that we were created before, it's gone. Also, I can ask regenerate this one, for example, for OCI, Oracle Cloud. It's done. As you see, quickly generated for you the same code for Oracle Cloud. Let's regenerate that for GCP, Google Cloud. It's done. Quickly regenerate that for GCP. I don't have account on GCP to rerun this code, but I have on OCI. Copy this code. Let's create a directory called OCI chat GPT. Switch inside it .tf. Let's copy the code here. Let's remove provider section and add it in another file called provider.tf. Let's save it. Terraform init. As you see, it is installing the HashiCorp OCI. But there is a warning here. For users on Terraform 0.13 or greater, this provider has moved to Oracle OCI. Please update your source in required provider. So we need to add a required provider to use Oracle OCI, because by default it's going to use HashiCorp OCI. As you see here, we need to change it. Let's change the code. Main.tf, insert this section. We added a required provider to use this one. Let's save it. See here, it's going to Oracle OCI and install the plugin from here. Let's Terraform plan. Yeah, need the compartment ID. I'm going to create a provider.tf here and copy my credential here, save it. Yes, I need to change this one to my compartment. Let's run Terraform plan again. As you see here, it's going to create this CIDR plug to this compartment ID. Oracle Cloud is a little different with AWS and Azure. There is a subject, it's called compartment ID. It is at the same as resource group in Azure. So you create a compartment, and inside this namespace you create your components. So I don't like to go deep in what's the compartment and what's that. It's need a separate video. So just here I wanted to show you how to use ChatGPT to generate code for OCI, AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure, and so on. As you saw, these codes are the basic codes in Terraform. This chat can generate a more complex for us. Also, we can give the ChatGPT our code and regenerate that for another cloud. For example, we have a code for AWS and we want to regenerate that for Azure. We can give the code here and this ChatGPT will do that. Let's create a little more complicated. Generate a Terraform code for create a network on AWS. This is not only a VPC, it's complete VPC, subnet, internet gateway, and so on. You see, in a matter of seconds, generated a Terraform code for create a network on AWS and all the component of network inside it. VPC, subnet, internet gateway, route table, and route table association. Let's regenerate that with Azure. You see, regenerate AWS code to Azure with the all components that you need to create a network on Azure for your project. And also here provide you some advice if you want to change the CIDR block, security groups, and so on. So you see, ChatGPT is a new revolution in information technology and will be very good handy in programming and coding. You can use it in Python programming, Java, and all the programming that you work on it, and you can use it in writing any code in any language and compare it with your code that was written by yourself. So at the end, let ask ChatGPT this sentence. Generate a sentence for people that see my YouTube channel to subscribe it. Very good. If you are looking for a valuable content and want to stay up to date with my latest video, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. See you soon.